give you a quick reminder, don't forget on Twitter at Smart24TV, Facebook Smart24TV, YouTube Smart24TV Live. You can live stream wherever you are, at whatever part of the world you are. And we shall be connecting with Sonko shortly concerning what's taking place at Serena, concerning the MTN IPO. Yes, and we shall be giving you those what's really taking place. As you know, Smart24, we are the only business channel in the land. And right now we are going into our topic of discussion. And we are going to be discussing about the Local Content Development Fund for the SMEs, an initiative the Ministry of Energy and Mineral Development came up with to support the small, medium enterprises to gain local content. But before we get there, let's first of all have a look at this story, and we shall be coming back with more analysis.
The Minister of Energy and Mineral Development during the East African SME Oil and Gas Conference says that the ministry will implement a local content development fund to help small and medium enterprises tap opportunities in the oil and gas sector. Irene Batebe, the permanent secretary of the Ministry of Energy and Mineral Development, says that they expect to offer loans on a low interest rate for ease of entry and participation in the sector.
Secondly, I had already alluded to this, SMEs needing financing. And I had indicated we are planning to put in place a local content development fund to finance the performance of the sector contracts. We expect that the fund will provide low-interest loans to SMEs for ease of entry and participation in sector activities. In addition, we believe that SMEs need to aggressively search for information and ensure that they are responsive to available opportunities. Learn how to prepare good bids. Ensure that your bids are compliant. So just that, getting into the game and ensuring you're able to meet the requirements of procurement, that is even a starting point. SMEs also need to become information technology savvy. We cannot run away from this. A simple one, the PAU will require you to register on their national suppliers database. If you want to provide some job or responsibility to a company, be registered on the talent register.
That as we broadcast, we ensure that we take on a lot of the information that is being provided, but also approach the presenters through the Stanbic Business Incubator, the Uganda National Oil Company, and we can support you on furthering the information that you would need to explore your participation in the sector. We're going to explore opportunities in some of the critical sectors that haven't been thought of critically, like agriculture, for instance. While we focus on jobs and opportunities and providing goods and services, we need to remember that over 20,000 people or more will be directly involved in this sector in the Albertine area. They need to eat quality food. Where is that food going to come from if we do not focus on agriculture? So that is a great opportunity right there. So we're going to focus on agriculture, catering services, camp services, logistics, transport, security, waste management, and so much more.
However, lack of finance and access to information is the key factor constraining micro, small and medium enterprises tap into oil and gas sector.
A lot of SMEs are not aware. Every time they think about oil and gas, they think about someone putting on an envelope with the oil around there, what? In an oil rig. Say, no, I have nothing to do there. We need to tell them opportunity. 16 sectors reserved for you. $200 billion which you can take advantage of. And then let's handhold them to ensure that they take advantage of those opportunities.
Reports indicate that small and medium enterprises have many opportunities in the oil and gas value chain, including both direct and indirect. These categories include transportation, security, food and beverages, hotel accommodation, and catering, among others. John Bosco Habumugisha, the general manager, National Pipeline Company, challenged the small and medium enterprises to have tax clearance that portrays compliance for them to enjoy the benefits within the oil and gas sector. However, Johnny Walugembe, the executive director of Federation of Small and Medium-Sized Enterprises Uganda, says that getting tax clearance certificate is not easy because it delays.
Most of them still have work to do. So there is work in process that SMEs need to work on environmental compliance and on safety compliance, because those two things are never separated in oil and gas. You will normally hear health, safety, and environment. Now, as we progress, the issues of security are also becoming significant. So you'll now hear more of even the social issues. So it is now, there are 3 S's: social, security, and safety. So it is 3S, then HE, health, and environment. Integrate these things, get certifications, 3 to 6 months. If it takes you longer, it's because maybe you had not yet started, but have them done so that you are documented.
Micro means most of them are operating for survival. We have about 5% who are small and about 3% who are medium. Now, when I look at the requirements, because I have a company, I'm also smart, I'm a businessman. When I saw oil and gas, I registered the company. Then we went to register on the National Petroleum database. Then they say, but for you to register, you must have tax what? But you have just started, I see.
You cannot reap where you have not sown. You have to put in that bit of cost to achieve those certifications. Now, the interesting thing is that when you achieve that certification, it will not serve you only for oil and gas. In any other entities, when you are bidding and you attach those certifications, your level of compliance is higher and you stand an opportunity of winning better than if you did not have them.
A number of different stakeholders are focused on helping SMEs build the skills they need to succeed in the oil and gas sector in Uganda. They disseminate information on the various opportunities available and help SMEs understand the requirements for their participation. A first step for SMEs interested in the oil and gas value chain is to register on the National Supplier Database. The industry will not offer contracts to any company unless they are registered on their database.
Spaces, there are sectors that inevitably will be reserved for medium-sized businesses. If you look at, for instance, if you look at legal services, if you look at accounting services, but there are others where locals can compete. If you look at issues of accommodation, if you look at issues of food, not everyone who comes to Hoima will want to stay in a 5-star hotel. So long as you have your 2 rooms that are clean.
Imagine you're a business that hasn't kept your financial records for 1 year, 2 years, 3 years. You're not compliant in terms of your URA compliance. You're not compliant with NSSF. You're not on the NSD. It will be very difficult for you to gain any financial support from any institution. So the idea here is to say, how do we support you to become compliant, to become visible to financing? In any business, financing has never been an issue. In fact, there's so much financing available all over the place. But what is lacking are attractive businesses that can take on this financing. So we have a situation where if you went either to a bank or anyone who wants to invest in your business in forms of equity, they'll always have a little bit of hesitation based on who you are and what you have to show what kind of business you're running. So compliance is very key. Having your business in the right shape, attractive to the financing.
The Stanbic Business Incubator Limited, the organizer of the East African SME Oil and Gas Conference, is now advocating for SMEs' participation in capacity building training to acquire knowledge and skills to participate in the sector. They as well indicate that training is crucial to enable SMEs to comply with the standards like quality, healthy, safety and environment. Pedson Mumbere, Smart 24 TV.
Like Ariel earlier had made a statement, and I say that it's very important to acquire knowledge and skills on how to exploit something, because also the oil and gas sector is something very sensitive sector, not only just in Uganda, but also other economies that really depend on the oil and gas sector. So it matters on how this nation is going to approach that sector. Now, looking at the reports here, the Ministry of Energy and Mineral Development, during the East African SME Oil and Gas Conference, it came up and said that, that they will implement a local content development fund that helps small and medium enterprises tap opportunities in the oil and the gas sector. So this is more like a fund to help in gathering local content, simply because this is what we need to exploit the sector. We are not going to get international content, but the local content. It shows you the relevancy of this fund to take place. And actually, reports also indicate that they are planning to give it out, to give out this fund at a very low interest rate. So it's going to be very, very favorable. However, lack of finance and access to information is the key factor constraining micro and small and medium enterprises to tap into the gas and oil sector. You know, the gas and oil sector will not only help us to, like, for example, to earn just more revenue from the exports, because some of the gas will be exported to other countries like Tanzania, Kenya, through the pipeline transportation. But let's look at the local markets, like the local economy, because currently we see the fuel prices have been going very high. So that shows you that if we have an established gas sector, oil and gas sector, that there is a way somehow purchase whereby the fuel prices in this nation can actually be friendly to the users. And we all know when the fuel price is okay, everything is okay. Fuel runs the economy, runs the global economy, it runs the world. So it's really very sensitive to that extent. Reports indicate that small and medium enterprises have many opportunities in the oil and gas sector chain, including both direct and indirect. And these categories include transportation, security, foods, beverages, hotel, accommodation, and catering, among others. And when we talk about now, for example, here, which includes like the trucks that transport the oil from the oil well, let me say that, to deliver them to the different stations. Yeah, so the transport business, there is a way, in some kind of way, it gets involved. Definitely, you may not really have to participate into the mining, into the extraction of the oil, but it may just involve you doing the transportation. Security, you know, we have security companies emerging, and those wells really need to be guarded very well, so you can see quite a wide range of opportunities. You know, in most cases, such cases when they come in, such matters when they come in, as Ugandans, it calls for us to be a little bit open-minded and we look at the broader picture, because we know that one sector can actually feed several other 10 sectors which are interdependent on that sector. Now, for example, like we've seen the gas, you may wonder the transportation, how it comes in, but it's some of the, let me say, it's an intermediary. It's like a subsidiary beneficiary. I don't know whether I'm using the right English, but one of the dependents on the sector, you know, the transporting the oil from the oil well back to the market where the oil needs to be delivered, you know, hotel accommodation, catering, among others. When we talk about the hotel, because I know during, for example, the petrol engineers, some of them are hired to go work in those places, like doing the oil extraction, to supervise the oil extraction. And actually, while they are there, they will need accommodation. So you see, if you have your hotel, well, small motels, may not be really a hotel. It could be expensive, but at least a motel or some kind of a guest house, whereby you can house these workers, because not very many stay that side at the place where the oil is being extracted. So you can see how the accommodation sector can really develop. And these people really turn up in numbers. Yes, they really turn up in big numbers. So I would really think when you start up your motel that side, you expect something. It's not going to be, because this is seasonal. Because sometimes when you invest investments, there is where this factor whereby you need to understand the current factor, because if you really say you're going to be investing money basing on what you think you know, and you don't base on the current factors in the nation, definitely you're likely to make a loss as a business person. So it shows you the importance and the significance of knowing what's taking place in the nation. and you make investment decisions basing on the factors that are taking place in the economy. John Mwalugembe, the Executive Director of Federation for Small and Medium Enterprises, sees Enterprises Uganda, Mwalugembe, yes, that the CEO, he says that getting tax clearance certificate is not easy because it delays. Definitely, for an SME to involve into this, okay, maybe this is just some of the challenges which are being faced concerning the tax certificate, that certificate that proves you that you're a taxpayer. Definitely that makes you legal, and we know that it's really important to be formal as you're doing any business, because that will enable your business to get actually very big deals. We talk about international multilateral billion-dollar deals. Did I say multilateral? It was just a slide of time, but $1 billion. So it's very important. But just the only challenge here is that the tax certificates is a little bit delaying. But I know since this is the move and it's to benefit the nation, we urge the tax agencies to be a little bit fair and friendly concerned. Or definitely the tax has to be issued, but the certificates should be given out in time, because now I'm imagining somebody has the potential to participate in any of the sectors we mentioned, like the transportation, accommodation, but now what's going to hinder them is the issuance of the tax certificate. You see how that is very serious concerning the business progress, and you know that delays the movement of economic activities in the nation. But we know that's something that has to be sorted concerning tax clearance, because this is all about our nation right now, as we want to take it back to the pre-pandemic levels. A number of different stakeholders are focused on helping SMEs building the skills they need to succeed in the oil and gas sector in Uganda. Yes, they disseminate information on the various opportunities available and help SMEs understand the requirements for their participation. Yes, we see quite so many other hands just trying to come in and help the SMEs in their involvement into the oil and gas sector. And like our main topic is, the fund is to gather local content. So that's information. And one of the role is stakeholders are doing, they disseminate information on the various opportunities. So definitely it doesn't not, like, it's one thing for you to know that, yes, okay, I'm in the transportation, I'm going to involve myself in the transportation, I'm going to be in the accommodation. But it's important to know, to have information concerning, yes, I've put my motel at that place where the oil is going to be mined, but how best can I get clients? How best can perhaps I could get into a contract with the company that has called the people to work there, for them to come and use my accommodation places, and definitely that works out and it helps you get money. So that's just, I'm just trying to show you the relevance of information for you to help you as a person that is trying to participate. Somebody owning an SME and you really want to also participate in the SME sector in any of the available sectors I talked about. Information is important, and that's why these stakeholders are very in existence. So it's very important for you to know how you need to do this and how you can access these stakeholders, because it's very beneficial. It's really very beneficial for the business development. A first step for SMEs interested in the oil. Now we're looking at the first step concerning the SMEs that are interested to join the oil and gas sector. A first step for the SMEs interested in the oil and gas value chain is to register on the national on the national supplier database. Yes, so that's one of the requirements for any SME that wants to participate in the oil and gas sector. That's to register with on the national supplier database. The industry will not offer contracts to any company unless they are registered on the national supplier database. So get registered on the national, so you need to know what really it takes to register there, because it's very important for us to teach ourselves as Ugandans to run business in the formal way. I mean, so many people are really excited concerning the oil and gas exploitation, and this really, okay, it's okay to get excited about the benefits, the outcoming benefits, but it's very important to get prepared and know how to get there, because you could be getting too much excited and we lose the bigger picture. Yes, we need the money, but it has to be done the right way, the formal way, because the nation is developing. We are developing. Actually, Uganda, we are developing at a very good rate. I'll say that. And if we say we are developing, we need to adapt the strategies of running businesses just like the Western world does in order to benefit into the society. It's really very essential. Now, as we've seen, the first step is you to get registered on the National Suppliers Database. Then Stanbic Bank Business Incubator Limited, the organizer of the East African SME Oil and Gas Conference, is advocating for SMEs participation in capacity building training to acquire, listen to this, to acquire knowledge and skills to participate in the sector. Training is critical and training is critical to enable SMEs to comply with the standards like the quality, health, safety, and environment. Remember, as we are exploiting the oil and gas sector, and when we need to export this oil to other countries, it's very, very important to meet the standards of the quality. And when we talk about the quality, we're not trying to talk about the quality that is domestic, but we talk about the international standard quality of the product, the international standard quality, the oil that can be really needed on the market. It's very, very important. Uganda, we've had issues in some other sectors concerning exportation, as the people that were importing our products could claim of quality issues, substandard issues. So that's why this initiative, the Ministry of Energy has taken to source, to fund SMEs that really want to engage in the oil and gas extraction. Is something really very important, because we just can't afford as a nation to do the mistakes we've done in the past, because one mistake can be done in 1 year but can put the economy 10 years behind. So that shows you how serious these matters really are. So right about now, that's it for the topic of discussion. We are going to get into a very short commercial break, and I'll be returning with the business in entertainment. Keep watching Smart 24.